A light breeze swept through the deserted park, lifting dry leaves into small whirlwinds under a gray and threatening sky. Luca, a 3-year-old boy blind from birth, was playing quietly near his mother. The park, surrounded by a dense forest, seemed like a safe place to spend the afternoon. But in an instant, everything changed. Luca goes missing. Luca's mother, distracted by a phone call, lowered her gaze for just a few seconds. When she looked up again, Luca was gone. Panic set in as she called out, her voice cracking with fear. Mother, desperately, "Luca, where are you?" Unbeknownst to her, Luca, curious about a distant sound, had wandered off among the trees. Alone and vulnerable, he began to feel the absence of his mother. His heart pounded as he called out. Luca, frightened, "Mom, help!" But in the thick of the trees, his voice was lost, overwhelmed by the sound of rustling leaves and the wind. Fear enveloped him as he stretched out his hands, searching for a point of reference. All around him was emptiness. The unexpected hero. Just when it seemed Luca was completely abandoned, an unexpected presence appeared. A stray dog with rough fur and deep, knowing eyes emerged from behind a bush. Thin but determined, the dog watched the boy as if understanding his desperate situation. The dog barked once, a low and firm tone that made Luca freeze. There was something in that bark that didn't frighten him, but reassured him. Slowly, the dog approached, brushing Luca's hand with its nose. The boy felt a strange sense of comfort. Luca, whispering, "Who are you?" The dog guides Luca. The unexpected meeting between the boy and the dog marked the beginning of something incredible. While Luca's mother continued her desperate search, the stray dog seemed to have a plan. Luca, still disoriented, felt the warmth of the dog's breath near his hand. He couldn't see the dog, but he sensed its protective presence. The dog let out a soft whine as if inviting Luca to follow. Somehow, the boy understood. Clinging to the trust the dog inspired, Luca stretched out his hand, following the sound of its paws on the ground. The mother's desperation. Meanwhile, Luca's mother, Francesca, wandered through the park, calling for her son. Her heart was a turmoil of fear and guilt. Every passing second felt like an eternity. Several people in the park had joined the search, but no one had seen Luca. The dog protects Luca. The dog suddenly stopped, its body stiffening. A noise came from the underbrush, the crackling of broken branches. The boy, unaware of the danger, kept moving forward. But the dog positioned itself between Luca and the source of the sound, growling low. Suddenly, a large deer emerged from the dense trees. Startled, the deer darted away, disappearing into the bushes. The dog, after ensuring the danger had passed, returned to Luca and licked his hand, as if to reassure him. Luca, softly, "What was it?" The dog nudged him gently, guiding him again toward safety. The reunion. One of the searchers noticed small footprints in the wet ground. Francesca clung to that hope and followed the tracks. The dog, hearing her call, stopped and barked loudly, a sound that seemed to answer her cries. Mother, crying out, "Luca, are you there?" Luca, recognizing her voice, "Mom!" But they were not out of danger yet. Between Luca and his mother was a small stream with unusually swift waters. The dog, sensing the danger, moved quickly, positioning itself between Luca and the stream, barking furiously to attract attention. Francesca, guided by the sound, arrived just in time to see the dog gently push Luca back from the slippery edge. She ran to her son, tears streaming down her face, and hugged him tightly. Mother, relieved. "Thank God, Luca. You're safe." Then she turned to the dog, kneeling beside it. Mother, grateful. "Thank you. I don't know who you are, but you saved my child." The hunter's arrival. As Francesca tried to reassure Luca, the dog perked up its ears. A rustling came from the underbrush. The dog positioned itself in front of them, growling softly. A man emerged from the shadows, a hunter with a rifle slung over his shoulder. Hunter, ambiguously, "Is everything all right, ma'am?" Francesca, frightened but determined, answered cautiously. The hunter's eyes fell on the dog. Hunter, curiously, "Is that your dog?" Mother, hesitant, "No, but it saved my son." The hunter's tone grew suspicious, and the dog, sensing something was wrong, growled fiercely. The hunter stepped back, raising his hands. Hunter, defensively, "I didn't mean any harm." A new threat. Days later, Francesca noticed a suspicious man following them. Max, the dog, immediately positioned himself between the man and Francesca, growling with a ferocity he had never shown before. Mother, nervously, "Is everything okay?" Suspicious man, pretending innocence, "Oh, excuse me. I just noticed that dog. He looks like the one I was looking for." Francesca eyed him suspiciously, holding Luca's hand tightly. The man walked away, but Francesca couldn't shake the unease. That evening, she called the man who had claimed to be Max's owner. The truth about Max. The man explained that Max was no ordinary dog. He had been trained for rescue missions and had gone missing after a truck accident. Francesca realized Max's true value and the danger he might be in. Mother, determined, "I won't let anyone take him away." A bond unbroken. Max had become more than a protector. He was family. Francesca knew she had to keep him safe, no matter the cost. As she watched Luca play with Max, she felt a sense of hope and gratitude. This dog, this guardian angel, had brought light into their lives. And so the bond between Luca, Francesca, and Max grew stronger, a testament to the power of courage, friendship, and unconditional love. The safe haven. After the harrowing events, Max, the extraordinary rescue dog, was temporarily moved to a safe haven. Francesca and Luca missed him dearly, but they knew it was necessary to protect him from the dangerous organization that sought to exploit his skills. The Hunter's Plan. The hunter and David worked tirelessly to dismantle the animal trafficking network. They discovered a storage facility where trained animals were being held illegally. The team prepared for a risky operation to rescue the animals and gather evidence against the organization. Hunter, determined, "This is where we need to strike. If we can dismantle this facility, we can weaken them significantly." David, concerned, "But we need to be ready for anything. These people stop at nothing." The disturbing phone call. Meanwhile, Francesca received a chilling phone call. A cold voice on the other end threatened her. Voice, coldly, "We know you have the dog. Give him back, or there will be consequences." Francesca, trembling, "I don't know what you're talking about." The call ended abruptly, leaving Francesca shaken. She immediately contacted the hunter, who assured her they would accelerate their plans to bring Max home safely. The operation. That night, the hunter, David, and a police team stormed the storage facility. They found several animals in terrible conditions and documents detailing the organization's plans, including a plot to kidnap Max from the safe haven. Hunter, relieved, "Fortunately, we stopped them in time. Max is safe." Max's return. With the organization weakened, the team worked to bring Max home discreetly. Francesca and Luca eagerly awaited his return, their hearts filled with hope and anxiety. Luca, excitedly, "Max, you're back!" As the vehicle pulled up, Luca ran outside, shouting with joy. Max leaped out, barking happily, and the boy hugged him tightly. Francesca watched the reunion with tears in her eyes. Francesca, relieved, "Welcome home, Max. You're part of our family, and we'll do everything to protect you." The final confrontation. But the danger wasn't entirely over. On the way home, the hunter's team was intercepted by armed men from the organization. Max, sensing the threat, leaped out of the vehicle and charged at the attackers, giving the team the upper hand. Hunter, shouting, "Stay back! You're not getting this dog." With Max's help, the team held off the attackers until the police arrived. The men were arrested, but their leader issued a final threat. Leader threatening, "This isn't over. We'll have that dog no matter what." A new beginning. Max finally returned home, exhausted but safe. Francesca made a firm the intruder's return. Around midnight, Max jumped to his feet, a low growl filling the room. Francesca rushed to the window and saw shadows moving stealthily in the garden. Fear struck her like lightning. Despite their precautions, someone had managed to track them down. Francesca called the hunter as Max positioned himself in front of the door, ready to protect the house once again. A loud noise shattered the silence. The living room window broke, and two men sneaked inside. Max's heroic defense. Max immediately charged at the first intruder, knocking him to the ground with surprising strength. The second man tried to strike Max with an improvised weapon, but the dog dodged the blow, barking furiously to attract attention. Francesca, trembling, took Luca to the inner room, whispering reassurance. Francesca, softly, "Don't worry, sweetheart. Max will protect us." In the living room, Max faced the intruders with extraordinary courage. Despite their numbers, he pushed them back with ferocity. Suddenly, a third man appeared, this time armed with a gun. The hunter arrives. Just as the armed man raised his weapon, headlights illuminated the room. The hunter and the police had arrived. The intruders, caught off guard, tried to flee but were quickly stopped. Officer, reassuring, "It's over. We've got them." Francesca, with tears in her eyes, emerged from the inner room with Luca. She hugged Max tightly, whispering gratitude. Francesca, grateful. "You saved our family once again." The aftermath. The hunter approached, holding documents found on the intruders. Hunter, relieved, "We've finally dismantled the entire network. Max played a key role. These men won't be a threat anymore." Francesca nodded, relief mixed with profound emotion. She looked at Max, who lay on the floor, breathing heavily but with a satisfied look. A community celebration. In the following days, Max's story spread throughout the community. Neighbors gathered to celebrate his bravery,